Welcome everybody to Story Launcher. I'm Andi Lohr and I'm creator of the Story Launching System. I'm an author, book and novel coach, and I'm going to turn my phone on mute because I'm going to get lots of messages. So welcome to tonight, and for our webinar. I don't want to call it a webinar. This is more of a workshop. So welcome you all for being here this evening. This is a very exciting time in my writing career to be sharing my little nuggets and jewels with you all. We'll give people a few more minutes. We're right on time tonight, but I wanted to give people a little time to get their glasses of water or wine or what have you, how us writers are. I started a Scotch o'clock and decided that was not a good idea. We don't need any encouragement for drinking Scotch. So I'm going to go ahead and get this workshop rolling this evening. So welcome again. If you're just jumping on, my name is Andi Lohr. I'm an author, book and novel and writing coach and creator of the Story Launching System. And I help authors, entrepreneurs, and creative artists to not only launch and publish their books, but to write them, to get the book written. So that's what this is all about. Get the book done already. So I'm going to be taking you guys into our webinar this evening. If I can find the right webinar. Don't you love that? Okay, here we go. So sorry. I love technology when it works. So welcome to tonight's webinar workshop. This evening, our workshop is the 5 shifts to write, publish, and launch your book to rocketing success. So welcome everybody. And I appreciate everybody that's here for taking the time out of their evening to jump on here, and let's get rolling. No time to waste. This is me. And a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I am a mom and a rancher in northern Wyoming. I have 2 novels under my belt. Shine on the Holy Horse is a middle grade fiction, and Morning Star is a young adult novel. You may have found me, and you may be on here this evening through my comedy blog, Cowgirl Comedy. It's memoirs and recipes and some not so humorous humor, a little dry humor about the cowgirling in the West, and also my 5 steps to unleashing the author voice, the ebook creation template, which is a must-have if you're in the writing world. And this course, or nuggets, the good part, or the meat of this course, the 5 shifts to write publishing your book. Here are some of the ladies and gents that I have worked with, and some of these people do not yet have books out. I work with everything under the sun. I wanted to put these quotes were just brought tears to my eyes. E.M. Bannock is a gal that writes erotica fiction, and not my genre of choice. It was a learning curve for me to learn some of that. And C.A. James, she today has some exciting news. She's working on a movie treatment. So the sky is the limit. So for the next 45 minutes, we are going to be covering and really digging deep into the secret weapon that you need to have to get your book done already. I mean, that's the major culprit that everybody faces to get the book written. We're going to discover methods to finding momentum to rocket your book to success. And tonight you're going to uncover the tools and the resource that this is not, there's another way, there's a new way of publishing that is not indie publishing, and this is not self-publishing. So we'll get more into that in a minute or two. You're going to be learning that you can be a professional author even if you've not written a single word. Okay, if you've got a story in your head and you have yet to sit down and write it, that's okay. You will be understanding that in this day and age, this is the prime time to be an author, because you do not need to be a celebrity or have a massive following to be a bestseller. It's a prime time to be writing. And you can do all of this without having an agent or a publicist. And you can do it and retain 100% of your book royalties and income, always and forever. The book is your baby. So my promise to you this evening is a step-by-step strategy to craft, creating, and launching your book to profitability. Now, this is a little generic in my promise, because step-by-step is kind of generic what you're going to get tonight. It won't be a unique strategy for your unique book and project until we talk. That comes after the breakthrough call, because, of course, everybody's book is different. All right, my favorite slide. I had to put this in here. And this isn't my bathroom. Why is she having a picture of her toilet? Well, this is important in my journey and my story here tonight, because I wrote my first novel on the floor in the bathroom at night when everyone was asleep, because writing was not a cool thing to be doing at my house. So that was the only time I could do it. So that's where I wrote it, and I got it written. It was in the bathroom. And it didn't look, my bathroom wasn't a lot better than this. It really wasn't. It's better now, trust me. But back then it was kind of like that. So with that being said, there's no right or wrong way to get your book done or get it published or get it launched. No path is right, no path is wrong. The only thing that is consistent is persistence. You've got to keep at it and keep trying and keep going with your book. Persistence pays off. Whether you get, little nuggets here and a lot there, just as long as you keep moving forward. And it's easier said than done, trust me. So who is this workshop for? Who is Story Launcher for? This project, this system is for you if you've written a book that is not selling, or if you're currently in the process or thinking about writing a book, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. And the persona system that I'm going to get into here in a minute works for all genres and all realms. This works for fiction, nonfiction, memoirs, cookbooks. It even works for poetry and music, songs. I say that I speak the truth because I'm a musician, and I've got several songs that it works for any writing craft. Okay. This is for authors, entrepreneurs, authorpreneurs, also for service providers and anybody that has a message to share. Okay, even if it's just a story that you want to preserve for future generations. You've come to the right place. This is for you. Does this sound like you? And I'm rushing this a little bit. I tend to talk really fast, but I wanted to, if you've got questions, we will have time at the end for Q&A. I've got a couple people coming in. I don't know whether they're chiming in on here asking me questions. So if you want to save your questions to the very end, we'll have a time for that. Thanks. I don't want to lose my momentum here. So if you struggle to find time in your day to put toward your book, or maybe this sounds like you've already poured a lot of time and effort into your work in progress, and only to be faced with rejection after rejection. And I know some people that keep these rejection letters, they can wallpaper their walls with them. It's like badges of honor. And I say, heck no, get those, throw those things in the garbage can. Or maybe you know that your work is priceless if you only could get someone to take a look at it. And instead it's sitting in somebody's slush bin. Or maybe you've already published and your book's sitting on Amazon or Kobo and it's just not selling any copies. And you know deep down that you've got to, you need an ebook, you need a lead magnet for your business, and you don't know where to begin to get one written. Or maybe you're struggling with the confidence, your own personal confidence, or the confidence in your craft itself, and the investment of time and energy into a book, because I've done this, and then it sat there and nobody's purchased it. That'll take the wind out of your sails, if nothing else will. Or lastly, this is what I did. You spend all this time and effort working on your project, and then you leave it in a box under your bed, collecting dust, and lack the focus and the momentum to actually get it done. My last novel, I will confess, took me 10 years to create. But guess what? None of this is the real problem. They're just symptoms of being captive to this old system, this old publishing system. Okay. And the real problem is that you haven't made these mental shifts to get your book done. And once you make these shifts, you will have this focus, this burning passion that fuels you to just rocket your book done. Once you're lit on fire with this, it's done in weeks to months. You can rock it up. It'll be done. It's amazing. You're no longer wasting hours and days, weeks, or even years like I did, pitching endlessly. Where rejection letters become a thing of the past, you are a professional author and no longer a hobby writer. And I changed that when I was working on these slides, because I said one of the shifts that you'll make is you will become a professional author. And I changed that to you are, because you're here tonight, you are a professional author. And this is optional. I don't know what comes first, the chicken or the egg, but you will be launching or have the option to launch a career around your books. Perhaps you need a book to rocket your career forward, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which comes first, but the sky's the limit. Once you have a book going, the sky is the limit. And before I go on, I have to cover some house rules. We got to talk of the nitty-gritty for a second. This is not a do nothing, get rich scheme. And there's absolutely no plagiarism allowed. This is kind of my nemesis, or it's something that's very near and dear to my heart, that only authentic creative works are accepted. Once we have a breakthrough call, you'll be asked a few questions, but I only accept authentic works. Neither my results nor my clients are typical, and only hard work pays off. And writing is exactly that. It's hard work. It's not easy. It's not always fun. Was it Hemingway that said it's blood, sweat, and tears? And it is. And it's often very lonely work. Okay, I had to put this slide on here because this is my cows, and I just love the coat, and she's so happy because I'm feeding her. This is my real world, my other world that I'm relinquishing cow numbers, and so I can have more time to write. But this quote, as I realized, it's kind of hard to read. I couldn't find a right color that matched my hay. But I realized the magnificent power that story possesses, and it reminds us of our history and our past. And it shapes our present, and it also creates hope for the future. And you'll hear those words again, because this is so powerful. So how I discovered these 5 shifts in getting my books crafted and published is I recognize this massive gap in the publishing industry to take a book idea to publication. Now, you can take a book and print it and have it published on Amazon instantaneously. Yes, this is true. But then selling it and marketing it is another story. That's a whole nother can of worms. So I was offered a book. I turned down a book contract with a pretty big company, publishing house, because I was to give up 85% of my own royalties, and I still had to do all of the marketing myself. And I thought, no way. Why would I do that? That's silly. Just so they can print it, this is silly. So here we are today. So here are the 5 shifts that all authors need to have to publish profitably. And in learning this and in doing this, I rediscovered my own spark for creativity, my own reason why I'm doing this in the first place. So here we go. The first shift is you need to create in true authenticity. So I'm going to challenge you all this evening or tomorrow or when the need arises, when you're ready to jump in, because I don't want you to write anymore. Stop writing. Don't write a word, because you do not want to risk writing something that's not fresh and real. Okay, for the next few weeks, till we talk on the phone, till you've finished my program, whatever it takes, don't write another word. You know, a lot of writing coaches and writing courses will tell you to write all you can. Write every free minute you can. I say, stop it, don't. And it's going to get better, because I don't want you to read anything. Don't read anything. Take a purge, whether it's a week, a month, 6 weeks, whatever, till you're ready. Try it for a week. Now, the next thing, I know this is really challenging, and most importantly, it says take a movie and a television fast, and especially TV. It's so easy to get sucked into watching TV. We want to stop infiltrating our creative thoughts and aspirations with news, especially news. You know, I don't mean for you to become this vagrant, uneducated person, but you know, get your news source from the radio or, you know, wherever you can. And especially, I didn't put this in here, but get off the Facebook already. That's probably where you found my but seriously, you need to stop, because we're so inundated with media and information in this day and age. We just need to take a break from it. So whether it's a week, a month, whatever you need, I challenge you to do that. See how long you can stand. I heard you know, if it's a challenging to do, you know, if you're really in the habit of watching TV every evening, hide the remote or unplug the TV. If you have to go plug it back in, it takes longer and there's more effort involved in doing it. You're less likely to turn the TV on. If that doesn't work, after you watch a show that your scheduled show, that's fine. Put it in put the TV in the closet. It takes more effort to get it out and go on a binge Netflix. I'm bad with it. If I'm in the middle of a project, I have to hide the remote or have my kids hide it from me. Okay, moving on. The second shift. And this is hard. It's taken me years to embrace the empty page or the screen, if you like to type, because writer's block it's only a farce. It's not real. It's a myth. It's a fear of the emptiness, having nothing there, having to start from scratch. It's a fear. Well, we're going to trick ourselves. So I'm a nurse by trade. Don't tell anybody. So I'm going to throw some medical jargon out at you. But our bodies physiologically respond to fear and anxiety the exact same way as we respond to excitement. Our heart rate increases, our palms sweat, we start breathing faster. So your brain, we can trick ourselves into fearing this emptiness. Okay, now I write everything out longhand. My first draft is so fun to write and create. I just let it soar. I write it all longhand with a pen. So I'll go on a little shopping spree, and I like to buy a really pretty paper, really fancy notebooks, say plural, lots of them because I go through a lot, and a packet of pens. I'll buy lots of pens. There's nothing that I loathe more than a pen that runs out of ink. And I do run out I go through more pens than a dentist does toothbrushes. It's pretty funny, all my empty pens. But if you can just learn to embrace this empty page, if you like to write on a computer screen, we need to learn to see this in a different light. So successful authors, we learn that this is an opportunity to create anything and feel inspired by this emptiness, this blankness. So our third shift is persona publishing, my secret weapon. Drum roll, please. But before I tell you about that, I have to ask you some questions. Some serious questions. And this is often why, if you've pitched and pitched and pitched and your work in progress has got you nothing but rejection letters, it's because it is not worthy of publishing. There are 675 million paperback books printed in the United States in 2018. We don't have 2019 statistics yet, but it'll be somewhere around there. I imagine it's more this year. That is a lot of stinking competition. So if you don't have the edge or the commitment to compete with that, we've got to figure out what it's going to take to get your project there. It's not that hard. We can do it. And I'll show you what. The persona system will show you how. So the third shift is we've got to shift away from this old publishing method. We're going to shift away from wasting time writing to nobody, to an empty room, to no audience, or investing hours and hours writing to the wrong audience. And I changed this slide again tonight because I wrote, it used to be pitching without clarity, because we're not pitching anymore. We're writing with clarity. And stop facing rejections. That's the old method. We're done with that. So there will be no more blindly revising and revising when the time allows, or paying lots of money to self-publish and then not selling any copies. And if you are doing that, are you selling enough books to sustain a lifestyle that you deserve, that your family deserves? So we're going to get rid of this old system. I like my artwork. I'm so tech savvy. Not. I'm always proud when I get this. So this is the old publishing method, and it just is cyclic, where we have an idea and we write and pitch it, rejection, revise, rewrite, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And this can go on for years and years and years. Then if we're picked up by somebody, we lose 80 to 90% of our royalties. Why? I say stop that. Let's try the persona publishing. Is a proven strategy that works, where you're creating, crafting, and publishing with ongoing support and feedback or accountability, and you finish the program with a finished product, a beautiful book, and the potential for an ongoing career if you so choose. where your time that you're writing, it's focused and congruent with the audience that you're marketing to, with the message you're conveying. Where you already have this, there's an audience already seeking to hear your words, and you never ever face another rejection letter. And when you are revising and polishing your craft, it's in perfect synchronicity with your truth and with your message. And you're selling enough to live the lifestyle you want. So here is persona publishing, where you have the book idea and we leverage that and create that plan before you write a single word. The writing is not the first thing we do. That's second or third. We've got lots of work to do before you write a single word. And then publish. Okay, so our fourth shift is you're going to be leveraging your time and your resources, because no one has time to waste writing a book, right? Especially writing a book that's not going to do anything. So our time, and especially our writing time, it's invaluable. So imagine spending the time that you have allocated to writing on your manuscript productive and precisely focused on where you're going. This gets your book done and gets it done fast. And I want to throw this out there while I'm at this point, because there's lots of free resources and tools in the writers group, on the Facebook group, Story Launcher. So if you've not already done so, there's many lives on there, just so you can go back through my archives and on time management and writing space, all of that. So the fifth shift that you need to make is invest in mentoring, because as we all know, writing is a very lonely job. And alone, we're constantly faced with self-sabotage and doubt. And unless your mother was an English teacher like mine, the inner critic is the toughest critic. I'm still pretty hard on myself, but my mom's my toughest critic. She's a great critic. Sometimes it's nice, but not always. Sometimes I don't show her stuff. I don't want to get... No, that's not true. But no author should ever write alone. And mentoring brings support and accountability and guidance. And I learn as much or more from my students as they do from me. We all grow together. There's no way around that. So today I've made a promise to show you the shifts to craft, create, and launch your book. And we've learned the 5 shifts that you need to make to get your book done. There's a method for finding momentum to launch your book. Today I promise to show you a new way of publishing that's not indie publishing or self-publishing, and a new system for crafting your book without a publicist or an agent and keeping all your royalties. So you can continue to pitch and query to the dark market and maybe give up a lot of your royalties or go alone the indie route. Or step into your dreams with Story Launcher and Story Launcher's persona publishing system. So I invite you to book a breakthrough call with me. There is no cost for this call. It's absolutely a free call. And Larcy's going to provide a link, but I have it here too. But on this call, we are going to go through the specifics of how the publishing, how our system how you can start working our system with your work in progress or your idea immediately. So it'll really dig deep into your book and its theme and how you can build momentum for that to get it finished wherever, whatever the stage is you are, finished or published or launched. And we'll talk about your writing goals. If you want to just do a book or if you want to create, launch a career. We'll talk about all of that. But before I give you that link to book a call with me, there's a catch, right? There's always a catch. I have some credentials and you will be going through a questionnaire I have, but all of my authors are very passionate about their story or the message that they're conveying. And I like everybody that has a story that can shape either their own life or the life of a reader for the better. Okay, so that's one of my credentials. You must be coachable. Okay, and you must be writing in total synchronicity with your true authentic self. And that's kind of like, what does that mean? Well, I have a program for that too, if that's something that you're concerned about. We'll get you there. Okay, so no copycats. That's my law. I didn't want any vampire stories. I won't publish a vampire book. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Not here. You're on your own with that one. So why am I doing this? Why does Story Launcher exist? We're doing this because story enriches the lives of others and ourselves and writing it. And like I said on my cow slide, it reminds us of our history, sometimes our not so pretty history, so we don't repeat it. It shapes our present and our today, and it also predicts the future. Story's magic. And all great books, all great stories deserve to be discovered. Because books change us, they change people, and only people can change the world. So we're changing the world one book at a time, one reader at a time. So the story launching system is a done with you program. Okay, I'm not here selling you anything. I just want to put this out there so you know what the system is involving. It's the done with you program. I'm working on a done for you program, but I'm not ready to launch that. If and when that comes to avail, if you're still in the program, we'll make that. We'll bring that to fruition. But at the moment, right now, it's an 8-week module. There's 8 programs or 8, basically 8 chapters to it, done in 8 weeks. You can do it as fast as you want or as slow as you want. There's a private group for group calls, group conversations. There's a total of, what you'll walk away with, there's a total of 4 calls, counting the breakthrough strategy call, which is not on this slide. But there's 4 private calls, only 3 of them are on here. A book launch strategy, when your book is done, a publishing printing session, and then a post-launch marketing analysis after your book launch. And then also the 8 live group crafting calls, right? Then the bonuses are the Inner Author Greatness course, which you also get when you book a call with me, okay? There's a downloadable ebook creation template, because as we're building our platforms, I think that's in module 4, you've got to have a lead magnet. And so I'll show you how to do that. And then they'll be published, the books are published through Story Launcher LLC as a publishing company. We do not print the books, but we provide you with all the ISBNs and barcodes for ebooks, paperback, and the hardbacks. Okay. And then you will also, with the system after a week call, if you so choose to work with us or us with you, you receive the 10 hardbook prints of your copies of your book. And then, of course, access to print more books at cost, just at printing cost. You know, if you go to sell books and market your books, you have to buy your own copies, and we'll get more into that in the business development end of it. That'll come. Okay, so here is the link to book a call with me, and Larcy will post the link to download your takeaway from joining us this evening on our workshop webinar. I don't know what you want to call it. Everyone calls it a webinar online. I think it's more of a webinar, something you just sit and watch. And I like it to be hands-on while we talk and learn something. So it's more of a workshop, but you do get a free downloadable book as well. And Larcy will post that. Also, and if anybody has questions or comments, now is a good time to, I can stop the sharing the screen in a second. If everybody's, Larcy, would you post this this link also, and I can get on here and stop sharing my screen with y'all? If anybody has questions. Okay, yeah, Larcy posted in the, thanks Larcy, in the chat. All right, and we have no questions in the group. Any questions on Facebook? I'm just in Zoom here. I'm going to stop the screen so you guys can see my. Very good. All right, well, thank you all for joining this evening. I can't wait to talk and learn about your books and projects you've got going. And don't hesitate to reach out and message me if you need some help or have any questions. So everybody go enjoy the rest of their evening. And like I always say, right on. Guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you so much, Larcy. We'll see you guys all in the next live or in the group. So please join the group, share the group with anybody that's working on a book, needs some help. Thanks all. Night.